2021 PMO Research, How PMOs Are Purposed and Managed. This is the agenda that I'd like to go through for the webinar. I'm going to talk about the recent 2021 PMO research that our organization conducted. And let me give you a quick context of both the research and this presentation. This isn't the first time we've done this research. We started this research in 1999, did it again in 2009 and 2019. So we have some historical trends that are interesting to see. And what I'll do is I will share the business-driven PMO trends and the summary of the findings, as well as based on those findings and what they infer, wrap up with some considerations for PMO managers. So let's start with the business-driven PMO trends. Now, the four areas of focus that I will be talking about of the research are the purpose of the PMO, how PMOs are managed, PMO maturity, and how projects are managed. And collectively, these four areas, these four pillars, if you will, are the key foundational pillars of the business-driven PMO. Now, there's many more columns in the building, but these four are the pillars that if a PMO and leadership team gets these right, they will have a successful PMO. And the corollary is also true. If the PMO and leadership team does not get these right, they're likely to experience PMO execution difficulties. So let's get started. What do I mean by purpose of the PMO? If I were to ask, and we did, a group of PMOs, hey, do you have a purpose? Everyone would say, sure, we have a purpose. But years back when we and many others worked to put together what the business-driven PMO was, the purpose of the PMO was a very important concept. And let me take you through the business-driven view of the purpose of the PMO. And there's no better way to do that than using the PMO Magic Quadrant. This is a 2x2 analysis construct where we take a look at the PMO mandate in the vertical axis, the y-axis, if you will. Is the PMO mandate well established? Is the PMO mandate not well established? And what I mean by that, if the PMO mandate is well established, then each of the constituent leadership team members served by the PMO have participated and have discussed and have unanimously agreed to the purpose and the value of the PMO. So that would be an example of a well-established PMO mandate. An example of a PMO mandate that's not well established is perhaps when a PMO manager drafts a PMO strategy or plan, sends it to his boss for approval, they email it to others and see if they have any comments, and probably no one even reads it. You see where I'm going. So that's not a well-established PMO mandate. And then the horizontal axis takes a look at PMO practices. Are PMO practices to achieve the mandate well established, or are they not? Now, important to note, when we say PMO practices well established in the business-driven model, we're talking about practices to achieve the mandate, not just practices for practice's sake. So just simply having a project management methodology aligned to the PMBOK, or a intake process for portfolio management, or maybe a agile framework, those things on their own do not represent PMO practices to achieve the mandate. So therein lies the rub. The Magic Quadrant is the top right, where the PMO mandate's well established and practices to achieve the PMO mandate are in place. And I should mention that there's no magic in the other three quadrants at all. So using this 2x2 analysis construct that I've just explained, let's talk about what happens when a PMO is started. Now, I have a 2-day workshop that I give on this topic, and we take about 45 minutes to go through this slide, and I do an animation and build this all out. But for the purpose of time and making it quicker with you this webinar, I'm showing this all at a glance, and let me explain what you're looking at. If you start in the lower left where it says new PMO, that's in that lower quadrant where practices are not established and the mandate's not established. And that's because often, not always, but often, when a new PMO is started, of course there is a business reason for it, but in the rush to get things going, that PMO business reason for the PMO is often forgotten and set aside, and the PMO manager embarks upon what I call a phase one PMO, or PPTT, people, process, tools, and training. And in the next 6 months, they get very busy developing and rolling out a methodology, implementing the tool, starting a training program. And that happens, and that can be done. Some organizations can do it 6 months. Some organizations may take a year or two, but that phase one can be done. And usually by the time it's completed, everybody that was excited about their PMO is no longer excited. In fact, they're oftentimes frustrated and unhappy with the PMO. And the PMO has lost all of its support and buy-in. And this takes the PMO to phase two. And you see the rest in peace headstone, because the PMO manager is replaced, a new PMO manager comes in. And does this new PMO manager work with the leadership team to establish a PMO mandate and ask, hey, what do you want us to achieve? What's the value of achieving that? No, usually that PMO manager that comes in goes about what I call the QWBS PMO approach. And QWBS stands for, quick wins, buy-in, and support. The new guy comes in thinking, we just need to establish some quick wins, socialize them, and get people to support the idea of the PMO. And that's not too hard to do, and it works. And people are happy with their PMO once again. So with the new bite of the apple, does the PMO manager use that opportunity to work with the leadership team to really get a solid understanding of what the project-related business issues are that they face and what the PMO should do about it? Usually not. Usually that phase three that happens next is a phase in which the PMO manager suggests, now that you support the PMO, we got to get better at what we do. Now, 10 years ago and longer, this often led to a project management maturity initiative of some kind. And of course, for quite some time now, organizations have been looking to an agile initiative or disciplined agile initiative of some kind. But either way, you see that the PMO is going further to the right in terms of practices and maybe trying to get better at practices, but they're not really going up in terms of the mandate. It's kind of like we're focused on what, but not why. Well, phase three comes and goes. People become disillusioned with their PMO again. The PMO manager is replaced. And in phase four, a new PMO manager is brought in, and this new PMO manager suggests that the PMO needs to be strategic. It needs to add value. It needs to be less burdensome, less bureaucratic. And we don't need to follow every step of the process, and we can have greater flexibility for the project teams and agile teams to do what they want. But we really need to focus on doing that which is most valuable. And that's a good start, and that raises the PMO up in this quadrant, but that's still a far cry short from taking the requisite time and attention and business process activity and techniques.
Hi there, hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN to earn, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.